Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. You ever get that feeling like even when you haven't really done anything super tiring, you're just, I don't know, just wiped?
Oh, yeah.
You wake up and you're already kind of dragging, and then the workday feels like, ugh, it's just an uphill battle the whole time.
It's like you're moving through mud.
Totally. And then, of course, what do? You end up just kind of scrolling on your phone until way too late, and then the whole cycle just starts all over again the next day.
Yeah, it's a rough loop to get stuck in.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's something we're hearing more and more about these days,
Yeah.
More than just, oh, I'm tired after work. It's something deeper.
It feels different, right? And that's exactly what we're going to try to dive into today. I've got some super interesting research that you sent over, and I really want to dig into why modern life can just feel so incredibly draining.
Absolutely.
But also, and this is key, we want to figure out, are there any practical things we can actually do about it? We don't want to just dwell on the problem.
We need solutions, right?
Exactly. So one of the first things that really jumped out at me from all this stuff you sent, it just seems like this feeling of being just constantly run down. It's almost like it's become, the default for a lot of people.
Oh, absolutely. It's everywhere. And the thing is, just because it's common doesn't mean it's normal or that it's healthy.
Yeah.
We shouldn't just accept it.
No, totally. And one of the sources you shared actually referenced how the World Health Organization, the WHO, now officially recognizes burnout as a diagnosable condition.
Oh, that's big, right?
That's huge. It's not just like a slang term anymore or just like, oh, I'm a little stressed. It's something serious.
It's a real thing with real consequences. And the WHO actually has a pretty specific definition too. It goes beyond those, everyday pressures and stresses. They define it as that exhaustion, but also like an increased mental distance from your work, almost a negativity towards it.
Yeah.
And then there's that feeling of not really being effective at what you're doing.
Yeah, it's like you just don't care anymore.
Exactly. And while they're specifically talking about work, I think anyone who's felt burnout knows that it absolutely spills over into everything else in your life too.
Oh yeah, it takes over. Okay, so we're talking about burnout and this whole feeling of exhaustion. There's this one crazy statistic I read. Are you ready for this? The average person checks their phone 144 times a day.
Wait, what? 144?
144. I mean, just think about that for a second. That's like 144 little hits of needing your attention.
Oh.
It's like 144 little mini stressors all before you've even probably had lunch.
And that's just your phone. What about all the other dings and notifications from your laptop and emails and everything else?
Oh my gosh, you're so right. We're bombarded. It's no wonder we feel drained. It makes sense, right? Because each time you glance at your phone, your brain has to completely switch gears, process something new, and then try to get back to whatever you were doing. That's got to be exhausting.
It's like you're constantly slamming on the brakes and then hitting the gas again. That can't be good for your mental energy.
No kidding. And, it's not just about the phones themselves. It's the whole feeling, the expectation that we have to be available all the time, ready to respond at a moment's notice. It's just relentless. Another stat that really got me was that 53%, more than half of millennials, say they're just too tired to enjoy their lives.
That's really sad.
It is, right? It's like a whole generation is just completely wiped out.
Yeah, it's a pretty clear sign that maybe something's not working in how we're approaching work and life, wouldn't you say?
Something's got to change. Now, here's what I really want to emphasize. The research he set was very clear on this. Feeling burned out is not some kind of personal failing.
It's so important to remember that.
It's not about being lazy or lacking willpower. It's a completely natural response to just being overloaded all the time. It's like your brain is waving a big red flag saying, help, I can't take this anymore.
It's an SOS. It's your body trying to tell you that something needs to change. Especially in our culture, there's this whole glorification of the hustle, of constantly being on, and it can make you feel like you should be able to power through anything.
Like you should just toughen up.
But ignoring those signals, pushing yourself too hard for too long, that can lead to some serious problems down the road.
So, okay, we know this feeling of exhaustion is real, it's common, and it's not our fault. But what's actually happening in our bodies when we feel this way? Let's get a little science-y for a minute. What's going on under the hood, so to speak?
All right, buckle up. We're going deep. One of the big culprits in burnout is a hormone you've probably heard of, cortisol.
Oh yeah, cortisol, the stress hormone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's super important for helping us deal with threats. That classic fight or flight response. Like if you almost get hit by a car, cortisol surges, and it gives you that burst of energy and focus to jump out of the way. It keeps us safe.
So it's a good thing
Yeah.
in the right doses. But what happens when you're kind of, constantly stressed?
Well, that's where things get tricky. One of your sources had this great quote from Dr. Sarah Lee. She's a neuroscientist. And she said that having chronically high cortisol is like your car revving its engine nonstop, but you're parked.
That is such a perfect analogy. I can picture it so clearly.
Right. You're burning all this fuel, wearing down the engine, but you're not actually going anywhere.
So even though we might be sitting still, physically, our bodies are on high alert, burning through our energy stores. That's got to be exhausting.
Exactly. And over time, that constant stress response can really deplete your resources, leaving you feeling totally drained. And the important thing to understand is it's not just a lack of motivation. It's a real biological consequence of being stressed out for too long.
Which is almost a good thing, in a way, right? It takes the blame off of us.
Totally. It helps to reframe it. Instead of beating yourself up for feeling tired, you can start to think about what you can do to dial down that stress response and give your body a chance to recover.
Give it a break. So that brings us to the big question. What can we actually do about this? We've talked about the problem, but how do we actually start feeling less exhausted?
We need some actionable steps, right?
Yeah.
The materials you sent had some interesting energy hacks, ways to kind of trick your system into feeling more energized. Do you want to start us off with the first one?
Absolutely. So the first one is the 25-20 rule. It's pretty simple, really. The idea is to break up those long stretches of work with little bursts of movement. So you work for 20 minutes, really focused, then you get up and take a 5-minute break to stretch, walk around, maybe get some water, then you go back and work for another 20 minutes, rinse and repeat.
I love that. It makes so much sense when you think about how our brains actually work. We're not designed to just focus for hours on end without a break. And even just 5 minutes of getting your blood flowing can make a huge difference in your focus and productivity.
I've tried this and it really does help. I feel so much more refreshed when I take those little breaks. Okay, next up is the digital sunset. This one can be tough, I'll be honest.
I can imagine. What's the gist of it?
The recommendation is no screens for 90 minutes before bed. Phone, tablet, computer, TV, all off. I know it sounds impossible in this day and age.
That's a tall order for a lot of people.
It is. But here's the thing, and the research is super clear on this. The blue light that all these devices emit, it messes with our melatonin production. Melatonin is the hormone that helps us fall asleep. So if you're staring at screens right before bed, you're basically telling your body to stay awake.
It's like drinking coffee right before trying to sleep.
Exactly. So even if you can't manage a full 90 minutes, any amount of screen-free time before bed is going to help. And honestly, you'll probably find that you actually sleep way better. Even an extra half hour of good, solid sleep can make you feel like a new person. All right, last energy hack, and this one is my favorite because it's so easy.
Hit me with it.
The 2-minute joy break. Basically, find something that brings you a little spark of joy and do it for just 2 minutes. It could be listening to your favorite song and dancing around the kitchen.
Love it.
It could be playing with your pet or looking at pictures that make you smile, whatever it is. Just 2 minutes of something that makes you happy.
It's amazing how even such a short break can reset your whole mood.
Right. It's like hitting the refresh button on your brain. Okay, so we've got some hacks, but I also want to talk about some real-world examples of people who have dealt with burnout and come out the other side. One of the sources you shared had some stories from people who were willing to share their experiences, and I found them really inspiring. It's helpful to know you're not alone in this,
Totally. And hearing how other people have coped can give us ideas for our own lives.
Absolutely. So there was this person, their handle was at Mindful Maya, and they talked about how they quit their job. They said it was toxic and it was just sucking the life out of them. So they took a leap of faith and started selling pottery full time.
Wow, brave.
They said it was the best decision they ever made. It just goes to show that sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself is to make a big change, even if it's scary.
You have to prioritize your well-being. Sometimes that means walking away from something that's no longer serving you.
And then there was this other person at Dad Badian who shared a different kind of story. They started setting boundaries, just learning to say no to things they didn't have the time or energy for.
That's so important.
And they were surprised by how much people respected those boundaries. It's like we all need permission to say no sometimes.
Absolutely. It's not selfish, it's self-care. You can't pour from an empty cup. You know, what's interesting is both of those stories, even though they're really different, they both emphasize the importance of taking control. Whether it's over your job, your schedule, your commitments, taking control of your life can help you regain your energy and prevent burnout.
It's about making choices that support your well-being, not just going along with whatever life throws at you. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I just want to say this. If you're feeling exhausted all the time, if you're stuck in that burnout cycle, please know that you're not alone.
And it's not your fault.
And you don't have to just accept it. You deserve to thrive. You deserve to have the energy to enjoy your life.
It's about taking those first steps, no matter how small, toward making changes that support your well-being.
Exactly. So I want to leave you with this question. What are the little things in your life, maybe in that hustle culture we're all caught up in, that are draining your energy without you even realizing it?
It's worth thinking about.
And maybe, just maybe, some of those energy hacks we talked about or those stories from other people, maybe those will spark some ideas for how you can start making some changes in your own life. Even small changes can make a big difference over time.
It's all about taking care of yourself. You deserve it.
That's right. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive. We'll see you next time.
See you then.